unprecedented scandal concerning the Supreme Court's leaked decision on abortion rights is prompting protests now all over the country.
Yeah, this leak now calling into question the integrity of the court, given that nothing like this has ever happened, especially involving a case that's still pending before the court. CUNY constitutional law professor Natalie Gomez-Velez joins us this morning to weigh in on all of this. Natalie, good morning. Great to see you again.
Good morning. Great to see you both.
Yeah, what is your reaction to this news of this unprecedented leak?
It is two, not one, but two bombshells. One, as you mentioned, the leak itself is unprecedented. It is a black eye on the Supreme Court. And then the substance of this, and it's a draft, they're saying it's a draft, a first draft opinion by Justice Alito, but it is an awful opinion. It is an ugly opinion. It goes farther than anyone expected, even those who were expecting that this court would overturn Roe v. Wade, not in this way. So it is shocking. It undermines, as you said, the integrity of the court, as Justice Sotomayor said during argument. Will this institution survive the stench, right, that the Constitution and its reading are just political acts? And that's what this reads like.
Natalie, it's a 98-page draft written by Justice Samuel Alito. Now, this was written back in February, right? And says that each state should decide on abortion rights and not the court because abortion is not mentioned in the Constitution. So obviously, I'm getting a feel of what your reaction is to this, but it's a draft. How likely is it that this is actually going to become the ruling? And walk us through how drafts could change and people's votes could change.
Right. I mean, it's a great point, right? This is a first draft. What usually happens is you have the oral arguments. After oral arguments, there's a first sense of how the votes are going to shake out. Then there's the assignment of the opinion to the drafter. The assignment to Justice Alito kind of is a signal it's not going in a direction that those who favor abortion rights would want. Then there's this draft opinion, and you're right, it goes through several iterations. One of the things that's concerning about the leak of this first draft is not only sort of the nature of the draft itself, but what's going on? What's the purpose of this? Is it to cement that position? In other words, to keep those justices who have said that they would vote to overturn Roe in this way in place, or is it to try to change minds going forward? Not clear. Early reports seem to be, and again, it's hard to know, that Chief Justice Roberts was not going along with this particular approach, and maybe he was trying to convince one or two of the other justices. Maybe it was designed to either derail that or support that. Unclear.
And if we, Natalie, continue to go down this road of hypothetically thinking what this could possibly mean, if the Supreme Court does strike down abortion rights and the decision then lies with the states, how many states do you think will likely ban abortion?
About half, right? You've got at least 24 states. Some recently passed bans anticipating that the Supreme Court would take some kind of action, either limiting or overturning Roe and Casey. Other states had, abortion bans that existed before Roe that was sort of dormant. And so I think the count is about 24 states if you count both kinds of bans. The really concerning thing, too, is some of these are not, they don't have exceptions for rape or incest. They don't have exceptions for life or health. They're different in different states. And so this has the effect of really tearing the country apart in terms of women's health and what you can expect in different states. We're safe in New York and New Jersey and Connecticut for now. However, there also has been discussion of, if the Republicans take control of Congress, having a federal ban because the limitations on that are no longer there either.
So the governor, Kathy Hochul of New York, said, "I refuse to let my granddaughter have to fight for the rights that generations have fought for and won, rights that should be guaranteed." Hakeem Jeffries, a congressman, saying the radical right stole 2 seats on the Supreme Court. We will not go backwards. So, Natalie, you just referenced kind of a federal approach, right? And how that if Congress were to sway to the right, they could pass this overall across the land. Now, we had the health commissioner on this morning who said they're going to do everything in their power to fight like hell. The mayor said the same thing. What does it mean for folks in the Tri-State area that's not really affected by this decision moving forward?
So a couple of things. One, the decision has not yet come down, right? So the law still has not changed, right? So It's not until the court issues a decision formally. And again, as you mentioned, this could change somewhat, but how much, not sure. Once the decision comes down, it's left to the states, as you said. New York State protects abortion rights, as does New Jersey. In Connecticut, there have been commitments by governors and legislatures here. There's also been concern that maybe there should be a federalization of Roe if they could get the votes. But that, again, Congress could go either way. So votes matter, elections matter. For now, I think in New York, we won't see the effects directly, but you will see, these movement of people who are in a situation where they need to terminate a pregnancy going from state to state. It's going to affect poor women and young women most harshly. But in New York, again, for now, there's not as much to worry about if you're a resident of New York. But just think about that, how that's treating a fundamental right, that it's basically a roll of the dice depending on what state you're in.
Right. And Natalie, we know a lot of other legal matters hinge on Roe v. Wade. So if this is overturned, what does that mean for other protections like same-sex marriage, and even LGBTQ rights?
Yeah, that's chilling, because the basis in this opinion for saying that, and it's very extreme. It says, Roe was wrongly decided from the beginning. It's very harsh. And it also, though, says it has no basis in the Constitution. Well, there are a lot of those rights that you mentioned. Contraception, Griswold v. Connecticut, is based on the same privacy right in the Due Process Clause of the 14th Amendment, as is, the interracial marriage, same-sex marriage, gay rights, other privacy rights, the right to arrange your intimate affairs without governmental interference. Those ranges of rights are at risk based on the reasoning in this opinion. Now, there's a line in the opinion where Alito seems to say, oh, no, this is just about abortion, only about abortion. Yeah. But you can't say that when you're saying the basis of that privacy right has no foundation in the United States Constitution.
It's all very interesting. We're paying very close attention to this, as I know you are. We're out of time for now, but Natalie Gomez-Velez, keep us posted on anything you may hear. It's always good to have you here to talk us through these things.
Same here. Thank you.